Hey guys, how's it going? It's Devin here and welcome back to another deck guide video, and this time we are going to be doing a deck guide for Vanguard Zero English on set 2. So we'll be talking about the best deck and also budget option as well. So you're not going to feel left out if you don't really cash or put any money into this game, because sometimes you just like missing a few triple S, or you just don't have a few cards that is currently good or needed to play in the best deck. So the budget deck is a good option for you. So before I jump straight into the deck guide video, I do want to give myself a big shout out, saying that I start a Patreon account and you guys can further support me there, because the first goal would be to get a proper mic. As you can see right now, I'm using my built-in laptop mic from the beginning of my YouTube journey till now. I'm still using it. It's the same mic on all the videos. So if you want to further support me, you can go to my Patreon. Links will be in the description box down below. But even though you are not a member in Patreon, is still okay, because just watching my video is already considered as a lot of support to me. So let's jump right into the video. And let's take a look at the first deck list. So I'll be featuring 4 clans, because actually, should I do a Bermuda deck guide? If you want, do let me know down below in the comment section, because I'm not doing any Bermuda deck guide, because I just want to feature the 4 main clans. So let's jump right into it. So as you can see, we have a Gamo deck to start off with, which is probably the strongest for RP right now. So this deck is obviously going to be very expensive. As you can see, we have 4 Isotes, which is the PG, 4 Maron, 4 Snowgal, and 1 Lian. And then we have 4 Blaster Blade, 4 Galatine, 4 Grade 2 Gamo, and 1 11k for Grade 2. And then for Grade 3, we have 3 King of Night Alfred, 4 Gunslot, 2 13k Attacker, and 4 Fang of Light Gamo. So as you can see, this deck contains 11 triple S, so it's very expensive, but it is a really good deck. It's sort of a beat down deck. It's the upgrade version of your set 1 alpha deck. So how it works is the same, just that you add in the new support from Gamo. And why is this deck so good? Because it can consistently give you grade 1 support, which is very important right now in this meta, because a lot of the deck right now, they are Vanguard base power, grade 3 is 11k, so most of your unit on your front row need a boost to actually hit the Vanguard. So with the help of Gamo, it's really good. And another good thing about Gamo, kind of like Gamo, is you can trigger the skill on the Vanguard circle as well. So you don't really have to write it to actually call a Snowgal, you can actually call it as well. So that is why it's really good. And as for the trigger build, we are playing 9 draw, just because you need hand size to actually discard and call a Snowgal. But if you want to try out Creep, go ahead and mess around with the trigger build, because it might actually work for you. And as you can see, we run 3 Alfred as well, so that will be your backup ride. Your first ride will be your Gamo, and then your second ride will be your Alfred, then followed by your Gunslot if you ride Blaster Blade on your grade 2 turn. And then your 13k attacker is just really good on your Vanguard circle, as you can pair with your 8k vanilla booster to make 21k column, which can hit through a defensive trigger if your opponent is an 11k base, so that is very nice as well. So this pretty much sum up for the list. So I actually have another list, as we can take a look right now. It is a mix of Galahad and Fang of Light Gamo, and actually like this more compared to the first build that I show you. As you can see, our starter is a little bit different. It's the chain ride starter. And then for our grade 1, it's very similar, just that we add in 4 of the Galahad grade 1 instead of Maron, which is the 8k. And then for the grade 2, we pretty much just switch out 4 Galatines for 4 of the grade 2 Galahad. And we also add in 2 12k attacker for this deck. So right now for Ram Paladin, the only 12k attacker is this, and for it to be 12k, you need to have 6 or more soul in your Vanguard. So for it to work, you need to play Galahad, because that is your most consistent soul charge unit for this clan. And then for grade 3, we have 4 Gunslot, which is the same. So pretty much the Alfred, and so I only cut out 3 Alfred and 1 13k attacker and 4 Galahad, as you can see here. So actually this build you can see I run 4 crits and 5 draw. Why 4 crits? You must be wondering, you need hand size to discard like the first build, but you need to remember because of your Galahad you actually get to Superior Core if you meet the requirement, which is check top 5, and if it's the card that can be Superior Core, it will be Superior Core. Means that you actually gain 1 extra card because you normally need to write, and that is 1 card minus off from your hand, but because of this you don't really need to minus a card from your hand, so that means you can afford to run crits and draw. So that's why we run 4 crits and 5 draw. And also another reason why I like Galahad more than Vanguard Gamo is because it is 11k base, and right now as I mentioned 11k base in this meta is super important, or else you'll need a booster to hit. And also just by Counter Blast 2 you actually gain 1 crit, so this is your budget perfect riser build just because you need a Counter Blast for it. And also it's better than Gunslot because it's 11k. So next up we have a budget build for RP. So it is Galahad as well, just that we change a few cards. So let's take a look. So for grade 1 it's the same, just that I add in a 9k booster because this is really good to pair with your 12k attacker, and you can make 21k columns, which is very nice. As you can see, we add in 3 9k booster for grade 1 and then an extra 2 copy of 12k attacker for your grade 2. And the main difference from this build and the previous build is the grade 3. As you can see, the grade 3 is a lot cheaper because there is no triple rare in this build. It's all double rare. We have a lot of double rare, but you don't really need to concern about your Blaster Blade because you pretty much get it for free last season. And for your grade 3, we have 4 Galahad, 4 Palomides, 4 of this Demon Slaying Knight, which is your backup right if you miss your Galahad. Because pretty much when you ride your grade 3, you have already almost got your 6 soul requirement, and plus this card when you ride you actually soul charge once, so you're gonna hit really close to using this skill if you do decide to go for this ride. But of course I do recommend you to ride your Galahad and then 1 Alfred early just in case if you ride your Blaster Blade on your grade 2 because you miss your chain ride, then this card can come in handy. And then your Palomides is just there to make perfect column again to hit through defensive trigger, so that's very good. And for this build I like 9 draw just because you want to draw into your pieces quicker because you don't really have Gamo support to discard a card to call grade 1. Next up we have Kaigero, which is probably a tier 1 deck at the moment, so let's take a look. So as you can see, for season 1 people run 4 blockage, but I only run 2 in this build just because you don't really want to ride blockage as your main ride anymore. So I'm going to start with your grade 1, you have your 4 PG, 4 8k vanilla, 4 Gojo, and 1 of the new card which is Hit Salamander. This is really good, and you run 1 copy just because you play Conroe as your starter, and you can search for this card if you want to. So this is a really good card because you can burn off a grade 1 from your opponent's side, and then it just go back to your deck. That means if you join to it, you can just keep on using the skill for free. You don't even need to pay any cost. So that's very good as well. Next up we have our grade 2, which is 4 Berserk Dragon, 4 Nehalem, 4 Bellicosity Dragon, and 1 Tejas. So as you can see, we have cut the Tejas to 1 just because right now there isn't a lot of Kaigero and your main target for Tejas is Conroe, so 1 copy is enough, and you want to run 4 Berserk just because we have access to Bellicosity, which is a counter charger. That means it lets you use your Counter Blast more freely compared to the previous set where it's pretty hard to use all your Counter Blast, but for right now it's much easier thanks to Bellicosity Dragon. And then 10k vanilla is just good because your opponent need a booster if they are using a grade 2 to attack your interceptor. And then for grade 3, you have 4 Dragonic Overlords, 4 Waterfall, 2 Blockage, and then 3 Dual X Arch Dragon. So Dragonic Overlord is a really good card, even in Season 1 or even right now it's really good, still a top tier card, and you want to run 4 copy because it's kind of your win condition. You have 2 win condition. First is your Blockage. You can run your Blockage when your opponent is at 5 or 4 damage to stop their interceptor, and then you pretty much go for the kill there. Or another way you go for your finisher is your Dragonic Overlord, because if they have your grade If they have a bunch of grade 2 in the sector, it doesn't matter because you can just use Drowning Overlord skill to clear them out and then push the rest of your attacks to the Vanguard. So that's very good as well. And right now is the Drowning Overlord season, so you can farm up your Drowning Overlord if you need to. So your main right will be Drowning Waterfall. This is a really good card because it's 11k base first off to start off with. And then when this card attack, it gains 3000 power. So it is a 14k attacker in the Vanguard. So that's very good because you can pair it with a 7k booster to make a 21k column. And then what makes this card so good is because when you discard a grade 3, this card gains 10,000 power. So that is pretty much checking 2 triggers. That means you can attack with your rear guard first, and then if your opponent check a trigger, you can swing with this to your opponent Vanguard, and then just by discarding a card, you gain 2 triggers to the Vanguard. So that is very good as well. And then you have your 13k attacker is just good to make magic number again. And I run dual X instead of the cannon dragon where you need to counter blast 1 to gain 3000 power. Just because you have a lot of counter blast already, you don't really want to add that in, and because this deck have a lot of burn mechanics, you can retire opponent units very efficiently. So most of the time your dual X dragon is gonna trigger the 13k skill. So that's very nice as well. So I do feel like this deck is one of the best, so give it a shot and let me know how it feels for you. And also 9 draws is good just because you want to join your pieces again. Your Velocity, your Berserk, your Drowning Overlord, and your PG. Those are your four main cards you want to draw into in your late game. And then next up, you must be thinking those are really expensive deck because there's a lot of triple rare in it. But no worries, we have a budget option for you as well. So let's take a look. So this is a little bit different from the previous list that I showed. So this is not going to be a waterfall deck, it's going to be an Ember Dragon deck. So obviously your starter is not going to be Conroe anymore. And that is a huge downside for Kaigo because Conroe is one of the best starter in this game. So let's start with the grade 1. We have 4 PG, 4 bar, 1 Joker, and 4 of your Chain Right grade 1. Then we have 2 Berserk Dragon, 3 Bellicosity, 4 of your Ember Dragon Dust, which is the Chain Right for grade 2, and then 4 12k attacker. So this is not some normal 12k attacker where it's 9k and gain 3000 power. That is not correct. But this is a built-in 12k attacker. That means it's really good just because your opponent need a boost to actually kill this unit. Unless they are using grade 3 that can gain 3000 power or other grade 2 that is 12k attacker as well, or else they need a booster. So that is why this build is good because of the 12k attacker for the grade 2. And then for your grade 3, obviously we have 4 Ember Dragon, Eclipse, which is your main right. Sadly, the skill got nerfed. It's actually retire 2 if it attack hit the Vanguard, but got nerfed to 1, or else this deck is going to be the strongest in this meta. So this is your kind of your Berserk Dragon on hit. That is why we only run 2 Berserk because your Eclipse is kind of like a Berserk Dragon as well. And then obviously we need to run 4 Drowning Overlords. So this is the card you're going to get this season, so make sure to farm up if you are missing a few copies. And then 4 Dual X Dragon, just because your Ember Dragon is going to be burning your opponent grade 1 most of the time, so you are going to trigger this skill most of the time as well. And then 1 Waterfall is just going to be your backup, right? But if you don't have Waterfall, you can run Goku as well. It's okay, you can run Goku. Just run a card that you don't mind riding as your Vanguard. Because you don't really want to ride your Drowning Overlord because on rear guard is better, or else you're going to lose your Twin Drive if you use the skill. So this pretty much sum up for this list. So the next one will actually be Oracle Think Tank. So sadly, I don't really have a budget option for Oracle Think Tank just because Full Moon Tsukuyomi is just the best right now for Oracle Think Tank, and the budget version is not really that good, and I don't want to recommend you guys a bad deck to climb with. So let's take a look. So as you can see, for our grade 1, we have 2 Coco, 4 PG, 3 Geminis, and 4 of the Chain Right grade 1. And then grade 2, we have 3 Tom, which is our winning condition, 2 Imperial Daughter, 4 Chocolate Tiger, and then 4 Half Moon Squirmy. For grade 3, we have 3 CEO, 4 CEO, 4 Full Moon, 1 of this Evil Eye Princess, which is good for final turn play, and 4 of this Angel card, which is really good because you can pretty much get to your stack faster. So as you can see, the trigger build is actually wrong. Okay, let me edit the trigger build really quickly because there's some error there. Okay, so the build you want to go for is actually 4 stand, 5 draws, and 4 heal. So this is the build you want to go for, or you can try 5 stand or 4 draw, both work fine as well. So there's actually 2 versions of this build. For example, my build is running Gemini as my grade 1, but there's some people running Blue Eye just because they want to get to their stack faster. But for me, I feel like Gemini 8k vanilla is really good because Silent Tom is your finisher. And if you are opponent at 4 damage and you are Gemini, you can make 16k column. And since right now there's a lot of 11k base Vanguard, it's going to be really good. Or else if you are running Blue Eyes, you only are making 15k column. And you only can pretty much go for the kill when your opponent is at 5 damage, or else you will need to check the trigger for the 4 damage to push through. So you can try out both build and let me know how you feel in the comment section down below. But this is the build that I feel like is the most efficient to me. So how this deck works is very simple. You just check the top 5 card of your deck once per turn. Of course, you can only check the top 5 card if you manage to superior right. Not really superior right. So you can only check the top 5 card if your Vanguard is the grade 1 version of the Crescent Moon or Half Moon. This is pretty much how you check your top 5 card. And then once you check the top 5 card, the card will be stacked and then will be put to the bottom of your deck. So you can actually check the card. You can check how it is stacked in the tab button at the bottom left side. And then you can just write down a piece of paper and then you need to count your stack as well. So if you can do it perfectly, right, this will be the strongest deck in this set. But because there's so much hassle, so much things to do, so much work to do for this deck to run perfectly, I don't recommend this deck if you want to climb legend really quickly, because this is a patient deck. You need to have a lot of patience to play this deck. And the good thing about the stack is, right, you can choose when to draw and when not to draw. So for example, if you write down your stack, you know when you're going to check your trigger. But so that's a good thing, because if you don't know when you're going to check your trigger, that means you're going to be drawing cards without knowing what cards they are. So if you know you're going to check on the trigger, if you know you're going to check a trigger on your next twin drive, obviously you won't be using your full moon skill. But if you know there's no trigger, then you can go ahead and use the skill, which is draw 2 cards and put a card from your hand to the soul. So that's very good as well. So why run stand if you ask me? Because of Silent Tom. If your opponent is at 4 damage, he have a lot of PGs in his hand. But then a crit will just stop. A crit will just trigger a PG. That means he's going to stay at 4 and not 5. Instead of stand, if he go to 4 to 5, and then you can finish it more with a Silent Tom. So Silent Tom is really important. You need to run at least 3. I guess 2 is alright, but I recommend 3. I don't recommend 4 just because it's an 8k grade 2 and it's not the best. And then for grade 2, right, I actually prefer Imperial Daughter just because this deck have a lot of draw mechanics. That means just by discarding a card, you gain 1 trigger. I don't think it's that hard of a cost to pay. Or you can try the grade 2 version of this card, where you have 6 or more soul, you draw a card and then put a card from your hand back to the bottom of the deck. So this kind of effect is good to get to your stack faster, but I choose not to, just because I want to give my opponent more pressure. That's why I chose to run Imperial Daughter instead. And then like I say, one of the Evil Eye Princess is just good because your 6 soul is actually very easy to achieve because you have Full Moon and your CEO. CEO will be your backup, right? And then you can just bind a card randomly from your opponent hand face down. So if you're lucky, you can bind a PG, then you can pretty much go for the kill in that turn. But obviously you will know what you bind, but it's still a chance that you can win thanks to this card. And the good thing about CEO is, right, you can use her skill on the rearguard circle as well, and your 6 soul you pretty much will get 6 soul if you get all your chain right successfully. So you don't really have to worry about writing this card. You can just call this on the rearguard circle, and then if you hit and you decide to draw 5 cards, you should go ahead because it's more value. Because counterblast 4 to draw 5 cards is better than counterblast 4 to draw 4 cards and then putting 2 cards back to the soul, which is full moon squealing skill. So this pretty much sum up for the list. Next up we have Noval Grapple. So as you can see, this is obviously the strongest deck right now in this meta, which is Perfect Riser. So let's start off with the great one. We have 1 Death Army guy, 4 PG, 4 of this Burst Riser, and 4 Riser Custom. For your grade 2, we have 1 Death Army Lady, 4 Trance Riser, 4 King of Hearts, and 4 High Power Riser Custom. For your grade 3, we have 3 Ashura Kaiser, 4 Turning K Attacker, 2 Lion Heat, and 4 Perfect Riser. So obviously you need to run 4 Perfect Riser. It's really important because that will be your main right and your win condition. Because Perfect Riser is the first card in this game to have built-in second crit. That means it's going to swing every turn for 2 damage if the requirement is met, which is pretty easy for this deck to do. And then your backup right would be Ashura Kaiser. So if you have Cosmo Lord, you can actually play Cosmo Lord as well. You will just replace Cosmo Lord with your 30k attacker, which is this Death Metal Droid. And then I like the Lion Hit just because you can have stand mechanic even though you don't play stand trigger. So that's very nice. And then do take note, if you're playing a Riser deck, you want to run as many Riser card in your deck as possible. So as you can see, for grade 1, I actually run 8 Riser. For grade 2, I run 8 Riser as well. Because when you run a Perfect Riser, you want to actually meet the requirement for 2 crits on the turn you ride so that you can start pressuring your opponent with PG, or else they're going to take 2 damage per turn, and that is very painful to deal with right now. So it's really important to run as many Riser as you can. So as for grade 2, if you have Jack, the 11k triple rare grade 2, you can actually play it as well. But I choose not to because there's a lot of counters for my grade 3 section and I don't have any counter charger for this list. So I prefer not to, but if you want, you can give it a shot as well. So as you can see, the trigger build will be 9 draw just because you want to draw into your Riser so that you can actually meet the requirement for Perfect Riser as soon as possible. So this deck is pretty simple how it works. You just swing for 2 damage every turn, and then if your opponent have no interceptor, you pretty much can swing for more than 2 damage per turn. And to me, the Vanguard 0 rule is right. If you do 3 damage in a turn and your opponent don't heal, you have a high chance of winning the game already just because that is half the damage, and then on the next turn you can even deal more damage. So that's very good. But do take note that Perfect Riser will be a rank reward for Season 4. So unless you want to play this deck now, I don't recommend you to craft, but if you have 3, I would say you should craft the last copy because 4 is very important as that will be your win condition. And then some people also choose to run the Kidara, which is the Counter Blast 2. When attack hit, you draw a card, but like I say, I have already so many Counter Blast cards for my grade 3, I don't really want to add in any more Counter Blast cards. But if you want, you can mess around with this build as well. But I really like this build personally because this is the build that I use for my Japan account to climb Legend, and I hit top 100 with it on Season 2. Not Season 2, I think Season 3, I'm not too sure. But trust me, this is a good build and you should definitely give it a shot. So the next build will be a budget option, which is Blau. So a lot of people say Blau is not good, but actually Blau is good. Blau will be even better if Perfect Riser is not a thing. But because Perfect Riser is out, that means Blau is going to be the second stage, where Perfect Riser will be the first stage, your first option to go for. So for budget version, we have a Blau deck because there's the only triple is Ashura Kaiser. But if you don't have Ashura Kaiser, you can run Go Rutao instead. But I feel like Ashura Kaiser is very important. But like I said, it's a budget deck, so why the hell is there 4 triple R? So you can kind of bash me for that, but like I say, you can run Go Rutao for a substitute Ashura Kaiser. So for your grade 1, we have 4 PG, 4 Tough Boy, 4 of your grade 1 chain right, and then 2 of this Toolkit Boy, this is a super important card because thanks to this card, your Blau cost is only counter plus 1 and then discard 2 cards. That means you can keep spamming this skill. And because of Blau skill, you stand the column. That means every time you hit, you unflip a card. So do make sure to take note that the combo for this deck is Blau as your Vanguard and then Toolkit Boy as your booster for your Vanguard. And this allows you to stand 3 times if you only have 3 counter blasts, so that is very good. And because of that, you don't really need to run any counter charger like Claydon Mechanic or even Hungry Dumpy. So for grade 2, we have 2 Kirara, which is very nice because you kind of want to draw card. Since your Blau skill require you to discard 2 cards, that is why we also run 9 draw as you can see. And for grade 2, you have 4 Transriser also, because Transriser is a really good card. You kind of want to run 4 or at least 3 copy in all your Nova Grapple deck. Then we have 3 of the Chain Right Blau Kruger, and then we have 4 Chocolate Attacker. So I feel like the good thing about Chain Right is they have a Chocolate Attacker base, because if your opponent want to play defensive and they don't have a grade 1, they can't really do so because they need to clear your Interceptor, which is your grade 2, before they can attack your Vanguard. So that is why Chocolate is really good. And then for grade 3, like I said already, for Ashura, for Blau, for Turning Care Attacker, and just 1 Unflipper. You can just play whatever you want. I choose run 1 counter charge just in case you need the counter charge. So yeah, this pretty much sum up for the list. It's really simple. You just need to build the perfect combo column and then keep swinging the Vanguard. And also another pro tip is, right, if you're playing a card with Vanguard attack hit, you don't really want to run crit just because you trigger PG and then it won't trigger the skill because you need to hit the Vanguard. That is why you run 9 draw. And that is why for Eclipse I don't run crit as well, because you need to hit the Vanguard. So do take note that don't run crits if you are playing deck with Vanguard, need to hit the Vanguard. So here, this pretty much sum up for the list. Sadly, there will be no gameplay. As you can see, I don't really have any of these cards where I just showcase to you. I mean, I have a few of those, but I don't really have a complete deck that I can show you guys, sadly. But I do still hope that you guys learn a lot in this video, and do let me know in the comment section which build do you like the most and which build have you tested out already and you like the most. And yeah, this should be it. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for next video. Goodbye.